Konnichiwa, and welcome to Tsuki no Ame, where we try Japanese snacks and treats. Today we have a very special episode from Tokyo Treat. So one of the things that Tokyo Treat does that's different from our other snack boxes is every month they send us some sort of dish. Most often noodle, most often ramen. And this month they have sent us something new. So this is our Hiroshima Oyster Salt Ramen. That's pretty much all they're really telling me about this. Uh, I'm not entirely sure how this is going to go. I do think it's going to be interesting. Something I really appreciate about this is just the variety that they send us. Uh, thanks to Tokyo Treat, I've gotten to try a lot of things I just wouldn't have had the opportunity to try. So I'm very curious to see how this turns out. Oyster is not something I run into very often. So to go along with this, I got this from my local import store, Cost Plus World Market, and this is an actual Japanese Fanta. This is apple flavor, and I thought it seemed really kind of fun to get to try, the Japanese version of a soda that I've gotten to, we do have Fanta here, so I think this is going to be really fun. I'm very curious to see how all this turns out. So I'm going to cook this up, and we'll be right back. And we are back. So this cooked up really nice and simply, fairly straightforward, bring water to boil noodles. Uh, but I will say it has a very fishy scent. The scent on it is very strong. And this is the moment where I get to admit that I don't actually particularly care for oysters. So I do think this is going to be interesting. But we do have everything ready to go. So with all that in mind, let's get started. Itadakimasu! Alright. Okay. Oh, that's like the perfect amount. Alright. Okay. So the noodles are really nice and chewy. They're a very pleasant chew. The broth is, nice and salty. It is nice and savory. It does have a very strong oyster flavor. And I'm not sure how I feel about that personally. I will say it doesn't seem like it has like the old seafood stank that has sometimes come with some of our seafood snacks. So if you're somebody who does like oyster, who likes ramen, who likes trying these kinds of things, you might really enjoy it. But it definitely tastes of oyster. You have to like oyster to be able to enjoy this. Um, but if you do, it might be worth giving it a shot. You might enjoy it. So moving on to our apple Fanta. There we go. So apple wasn't the only Japanese Fanta when I went there. There was another one that was muscat grape, and I picked up both, and I am very glad that I did. So it's gotten, the nice carbonation. That is a very strong, very fresh apple flavor. If you enjoy apple, you might really like this. And so how I do this when I do these is I actually just go and I buy a bunch all at once, right? I just go see what they have, pick a bunch of different things, and then when we get the boxes, I pick what I think is going to go best out of what I have with what we were sent. So of course I picked up both, and I am so glad that I did because I mean, if this is how good the apple is, I can only imagine how good the muscat grape is going to be, and I'm kind of wondering if there isn't a way for me to find more flavors of these because these are super fun. These are really tasty. I definitely recommend if you get the chance to try it, if you see it somewhere, that is definitely worth your time. Gochu-sama. So to recap, we tried our Hiroshima oyster salt ramen, which was nice and salty. The noodles were really nice and chewy. It definitely tastes of oyster. So if you are not a fan of oyster, you might want to wait and try a different one. But if you enjoy oyster, you might really like it. I will say this is just kind of in general. As I said earlier, I've gotten to try a lot of things I wouldn't have gotten to try if I wasn't doing this channel, if I wasn't getting these boxes. And while I am not personally a big fan of this one in particular, I can tell you that we have been sent things where I've actively tried to find them. So, if you're kind of curious about it, if you're kind of wondering, I've got to try some amazing things, including some things that I was a little on the fence about. So I would encourage if you're considering to give it a shot. But again, bear in mind, very much taste of oysters. We also tried our apple Fanta, which holy cow, that is really good. That has a very strong apple flavor. I will be watching out for more of these. Like I said, I did pick up another one. I picked up a bunch of different things. Um, so watch out for that in the future in one of these noodle dish episodes. And just kind of in general, Japanese soda has been really very, very tasty, super fun, and I'm so glad I get the chance to try these things and share it with all of you. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. If you like my shirt, link for that is down in the description below. And please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Johnny.